Hi, welcome. Today, wow, he's exploded. One minute he wasn't there, then he's there. Ladies and gentlemen, bow down before Mo Gilligan. Hey.
Oh, yes. How you doing, Rob? You okay?
I'm all right. Yeah, look at you. You look like a god.
I try. I'm in LA at the moment. I just had to quickly have a shower and just look fresh for the camera.
You just casually just drop that into conversation. I'm in LA, so I just jumped in the shower. Look at you. Look at your
Hey, man.
life.
Listen, I got to be fresh for my guy, Rob Brydon, man. Come on, man.
What you doing in LA? It sounds exciting.
Nothing like crazy exciting, but just like a bit of work, a little bit of downtime as well, since everything kind of went back to normal, probably like in September. It's just been at like 100 miles an hour. It isn't really downtime, but it kind of does feel like downtime. A time to readjust the speed of my life sometimes.
I'm going to be very nosy and I'm going to pry, Mo. I am going to pry. What are you doing? Are you out there auditioning to be the new James Bond?
You've rumbled me, man. You've rumbled me. But I'm probably going to be the people's James Bond in a Citroen Saxo as opposed to Aston Martin. I came out here in 2019 when my first Netflix special came out, just to like meet some people, do some meetings and stuff. I really want to gig over here. I really want to try and break that transatlantic thing of comedy and making them understand it a bit more. So I think that's what I love coming to do the most here. Whenever I come, is to do some more stand up here.
This is lovely to hear. But tell me this, what is your take on the whole, you talked about doing meetings over in Los Angeles, and you could spend your life doing meetings with these incredibly enthusiastic, friendly, very flattering Americans. How have you found that experience?
I love it, man. When I first came out here, just after my special came, and it was everything I imagined it would be. It was like, hey, dude, tell me about yourself. Oh my God, big fan of your stuff. And I was like, that's quite weird. You said, tell me about myself. And you said you're a big fan of my stuff. And it's quite interesting because I didn't ever feel like I had to sell myself in the room, but that's the thing out here. They want you to sell yourself.
They're not interested in you being self-deprecating or downplaying.
And I find a lot of America is like that. You know, when you go and have breakfast, it's like, yeah, table 4. And then you sit down and then this waitress or waiter comes up to you and they're like, good morning. Oh my God, how are you guys? My name's Shannon. And I'm like, oh my gosh, wow. I feel like I want to buy everything on this menu. It's got such highs and lows here. I think for me, I've always been fascinated. I guess from a child, a lot of American culture has always been what I've always been drawn to. You know, one of my favorite comics is Eddie Murphy. That was like one of the first comics I probably watched as a kid, watching a lot of American movies. So I've always been like weirdly fascinated. And then as I've grown up, I've kind of got a bit more fascinated of just the culture here, the lifestyle.
And were you a funny kid? Were you the one that entertained his mates and stuff?
I think as a kid, I was quite funny and quite silly. I guess I kind of found my funny bone a bit more when I was a bit more of a teenager. And I was a bit more like, kind of like, I'd say like 13. That's when I really found myself as, I'm the funny one in the group. I'm the class clown.
What was your angle, right? So you say that. So you mentioned Eddie Murphy earlier. And the thing, whenever I hear about Eddie Murphy, I'm always amazed by how young he was, how funny he was when he was so young. I mean, he still is, but, you know, how he had that voice then, okay? So if you found a voice around 13, but what was your thing? What was your shtick? What was your sort of angle?
I was okay at like accents and like impressions and stuff like that.
Right.
So when I'd be around my friends, I could never say like an impression I could do off the top of my head, but like I was able to do like an Australian accent, and my friends would find it so funny because they're like, "Oh my God, you sound like the supply teacher!" Like, and I'm like, all right, guys, quiet down. What's your name? And as a kid, like seeing my friends find that funny, I was like encouraged. Or I think as well, like when we was in secondary school, it was more about like roasting each other. That was like a thing in the playground, and that was a way that you could kind of hold your own. and people would roast me, but I'd be quite good at roasting them back. But also they would laugh as well. So I think that's where I was able to be like, oh, like this person knows I'm only joking with them, but they're also laughing as well. And then you kind of see that, oh, there's a bit of a crowd around.
At that age, was there any part of you thinking this will be how I make my living?
No, I just think it was the one thing I was good at. I think in school, I really started to excel when I discovered performing arts and drama. And when I
Yeah.
discovered that, that's almost a way that I could put those silly skills that I was being, taking the mick out of my friends or doing impressions, and I could kind of put it into a little devised piece. That was where I was like, oh wow, like this is quite cool. I can do a devised piece, and my drama teacher would say, so guys, you're gonna go and improv this piece. I'm gonna give you a place and a character, and I would just love it. I was like, okay, cool. That was where I really started to excel, because now I was like, we have a narrative and a point, and like I can really be funny. And
You're think you're going to be an actor? Is that what you're thinking?
probably, yeah. I think at that stage, I remember Ashley Waters, who was in So Solid Crew, and he became a really big household name actor. He's in Top Boy, but he went to my school, and our teacher took us to the screening of one of his films called Bullet Boy. And I was remember watching it, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. This guy's a really good actor. And because he went to the school and there was that kind of connection, that's why I was like, oh, that's kind of what I want to do. I'd done a bit of stand-up comedy when I was in college. I got this little taste of it. And I think for me, stand-up was this thing where I was like, wow, this is a bit like acting, but I'm in control of the narrative. And
Yes.
I always thought, especially with acting, I loved it because you get to play a character and a part and get to immerse yourself in the role and the character. But I was like, this stand-up thing is even better because I can do all those things, and I can create it, and I can write it, and I can use ways that I want to
Yeah.
portray myself.
Yeah.
And I just felt it was just blowing my mind every time I was kind of learn. No, well, I was a big fan of comedy. I'd watch a lot of
Yeah.
Def Comedy Jams at the time, but for me, like comedy was the one thing I started leaning to more, because I was like, I've only got myself to rely on.
And what's the story then of how it all happened for you? It's to do with uploading videos and getting them out there. So number one, how do you do that? And then number two, I mean, I always say that now it's never been easier to make your own stuff, but it's
Mm,
never been harder to get noticed, because it can seem like
yeah.
everybody is doing it. So how did you get noticed?
Yeah, I think for me, I've been doing stand up for quite a long time. Social media was still a massive force back then, YouTube and Instagram, everything was kind of growing. And I used to be quite against doing any form of comedy. Like, I even when it came to some stand up clips, I didn't used to want to put them on YouTube because I felt, oh, someone might see it, steal a
Yeah,
joke, and I'm just this small
yeah,
comic. And
yeah,
I think for me, when I started doing the videos, it was just really silly. I was doing really silly stuff that I found really, really funny on the app Snapchat, was that you upload like short videos. And people was kind of like really started to like this silliness that I was able to do. I had this one video which was imitating the different type of garage and grime MCs. So, you got the old school grime MCs like inside, oh my gosh, inside. So I was able to kind of mimic these kind of DJs. I kind of compiled it, put it into like a minute video, and had the title for each DJ. And it just went viral. Like loads of people started sharing it. It went viral on loads of platforms. So I started making more, and I started expanding the characters. And I do a part one of the different types of MC. I've done a part two and a part three. And I was just able to kind of get this small following that was growing rapidly. Like, on the social media side, on Instagram and my Twitter, they're going up by like 10,000 like every other week.
when you were doing this, did you have a normal job at the same time?
Oh yeah. So I was still doing stand up on the weekends, but I had a part-time job working at Levi's. That was my last job. So throughout me doing
Right.
stand up, I'd always work in retail. I used to start at 5 o'clock. And what I used to do, Rob, I would make the video in my bedroom, and it might be like different types of police officers. And I remember I used to buy some props. I bought like a little vest. I had a printer, and I printed out where it says Metropolitan Police and stuck it with some sellotape. And I was in my bedroom, and I was prop the camera up. And I'd do the impression of the police who's trying to be a friend. All these like random impressions. I'd make the video, but I knew to put it up, I was like, people are going to be at work, so they're not really going to see it at like 4 o'clock. So let me put it up at like 8, 9 o'clock. So what I used to do, I'd start work about 6 o'clock. When we close the shop at 8 o'clock, I'd hide and go to because downstairs there was no signal. So I'd hide and go to the changing rooms because there was cameras. So I'd had to put the thing over, and then I'd upload the videos and try and get a signal. And then so I'd do this at 8 o'clock. So I'd do it at 8 o'clock. I'd do all my stock replay, and I couldn't look at my phone because they had cameras on the shop floor, pack everything. And then when I finished work at 9 o'clock, I got on my phone and I could see the reaction to my videos.
Wow. What was the policeman who wants to be your friend?
There was a Stormzy track playing, and he stopped. Like, the whole point was that he stopped a group of boys. He's like, "What's happening, guys? You all right? Give you one of those. I'll have a bit of Stormzy. You listening to the section, guys? Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, you're free to go, guys, but give me some of those." And it was, I think what was nice for me, the nicest thing about it, Rob, right, was like, people was watching the video, and, you know, a lot of these videos, I was never trying to be like malicious to like police officers, but I was also trying to highlight something that a lot of people in like my community would be like, I get stopped a lot, and I can see the funny side of this, like, because normally it's not funny when it's happening, and I've been in that position and it's not. And it was something that was actually, and I remember I went to this event, and outside there were police officers, and I was on my way home, and I was walking past, and the police officer goes, "Oh, you're that guy, aren't you? Yeah, I've seen your videos doing the police officers. Yeah, I've seen your stuff. Yeah, really funny." So it was stuff that people could laugh at and laugh with, and see yourself and be able to be laughed at with as well, you know?
Hey, look, before I let you go and enjoy a great day, talk to me about The Masked Singer.
Yes.
That must be a long record.
It is a long record, but it goes very, very quick. When I got joined, it was just a massive honor because I grew up watching Saturday Night TV. I'd never been part of a show that was like, you know, Saturday Night TV. This is the big show. And I remember when I was first on it, I was like, this is huge. Like, I was looking at costumes and the dancers and like how they're putting everything together. Those pyrotechnics. And that was only like show one. And it goes so quickly. But when I was at first, I was just like, this is just really fun. And I was enjoying the songs that everyone was singing and stuff. And then you realize, I'm like, okay, I need to guess who someone is now.
And when you're guessing, now please tell me that some of those guesses are ironic, because if you're saying, I think this is Rihanna, it's not going to be Rihanna. Do you just,
but this is the thing,
are you given names to throw in just so they've got some?
No way. I think with the show, right, sometimes you when you're stuck for a name, you're just like, I have no one I can think of. But sometimes you just link the name to the clue. So they might say, oh, they mentioned something about a rainy day. Now, rainy days, what you need, an umbrella. Maybe it's Rihanna. Maybe. You just have to find a way to link the clues. But then there's also a point where, like, with the show, you never know who it could be. If I wasn't part of the show, I think I'd have a go. I think it's so fun. I can't sing for anyone. But as a show, especially for some of the professional singers, they all say this was such a massive challenge to try and disguise my voice.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like the joy in it.
Well, listen, Mo, you're not just going to have a good day. You're going to have a great day in Los Angeles today.
Rob Brydon.
And I want you to have just the most wonderful time, Mo Gilligan. And I want to thank you for coming on my podcast.
Hey, man, anytime, man.
When you're back, I hope we can entice you onto Would I Lie to You and we get to hang out a bit.
Yeah, most definitely, man. We'll go to Wales. Oh my God, I'd love to go to the Cardiff Bay. That's a great area.
Let's
man.
do it.
100%.
We'll go to Barry Island. I'll dress as Uncle Bryn and we'll go to Barry Island together.
We'll go to Barry's Island. I don't know who Barry is, but we'll go to his island, man.
Yeah, I hear he has a wonderful island. Hey, Mo, thanks for doing this. Have a great time
Anytime, Rob,
in Los Angeles. And see you soon, my friend. Bye-bye.
Most definitely. Take care, Rob. Peace, man.